It's hard to believe it's already been 9 months since I last posted a video about the low budget build for Ford 8.8 that I'm putting in my 4th Gen F body. Today we're finally gonna get back to that project. Rolled it up onto the hoist and I've just kind of came to the realization if I'm ever gonna get to where I put that 8.8 in, I'm gonna have to take a break from that SS resurrection and just go ahead and get right to that car. I haven't painted that 8.8 yet, and one of the reasons is I'm still making some adjustments on it. As I said in the initial video when I was building it, those are prototype brackets. And there's a couple things that were off on them, and I went ahead and fixed it. So even though I have the axles ordered for it, which should be correct, I hope, I really hope, I've decided that I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rear end out of that Z28 of mine and go ahead and fit that. So we'll slide the axles in, we'll see if all the brackets bolt up and it sits where it needs to sit. And then if it does, which I'm really hoping it does, for both my sake and your guys's, if you're watching this and want to decide how to do it yourself. But if it does fit all right, we'll go ahead and unbolt the control arms, zip it back out, and we'll go ahead and clean it all up, spray it with primer, and get it painted. But that's way in the future, so hopefully it happens. Oh man, that's not gonna work. I got those fancy lug nuts. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this up in the air, and my goal is to hopefully find a way to get all the calipers and brake lines hung off of this rear end without actually breaking the system. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try, mainly because, well, it'd be a lot nicer just to slap these calipers on and not have to worry about bleeding brakes. Now that this thing's up in the air, we can take a look at the brakes. Like I said, I was hoping to get them off of this rear end without having to break the system. I think I can weasel this one around here this way. But I do want to point out that these brake lines are extremely rusty. And actually even some of the brackets that used to hold this on are rusted off. This car sat outside for 15 years and never moved. And all that time it was sitting over grass where moisture was coming up and rusting all the nuts and bolts on this. So first things first, we should get some penetrating oil. Or maybe we'll even be able to take out these springs right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get that in a second. Now, if you have stock springs, they are not gonna come out like that. These are some BMR lowering springs, so they're just kind of sitting loose in there. Pretty easy to get out. Just like that. Now we're almost done. Not really. I'm gonna take this panhard bar out here, I think, maybe. Perfect. Now, these panhard bolts are actually really unique to the F-body. You can see they have that large step on them because these holes are stepped. You have the larger one and then the smaller one. And I'm actually really glad to see this is adjustable. I didn't think it was. Good news is we'll be able to center the rear end. So that's swung out of the way and we are gonna continue our quest. There's this from the brake lines. Gotta find something to tie that up real quick. Oh man, I need to get some bump stops on this. I'm going through the bump stop hole right here. The bump stops fell off years ago, but man, did I find some carnage from not running them. Especially after I loaded the car. It's not good. And this side should be easier to finagle around, mainly because I don't have as large a control arm bracket to go through. And for what I thought was maybe a caliper leaking, actually wasn't at all. I can get this rotor off. Kind of tough to tell with the shadow, but this is all gear oil rather than brake fluid, which is good because that means there's no brake lines to fix as of right now. I want to get this out tonight, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's almost 8 o'clock. I got to get up at 3:30 for work, so I'm going to pause it here, and hopefully tomorrow night I'll get the rest of the way pulled out. Hopefully this is the last bolt. Now, oh, that's going to come out nice. Perfect. Now, one of the cool things, you see this control arm right here, it's silver and it says UMI Performance. UMI only made silver control arms for a couple of years. When they first came out, all their stuff was silver, and then they went to the traditional red and black. So the fact that this has some of the UMI's first performance parts on it is pretty neat. Looks like it's gonna clear. And I was able to get this lifted up and leave all the brake lines intact, so that's mission accomplished. Now I want to be clear, I'm fairly certain that the only way to make this look good when we put this new 8.8 in here is going to be to rebend all these brake lines. But you have to keep in mind, this is a test fit. And if this thing doesn't fit or it's not gonna work out, I don't wanna have to break the system or have all the lines taken off, or I'm gonna have to run them all new again. If it fits, we'll probably make new ones for it. Lift with your back, guys. It's so much lighter without axles. Let's set this pinion up. Lowered the car back down a little bit. Shocks are lining up. Springs look like they're gonna line up, but one of the things, you can also see my spring cups are just tack welded on here. It's because I've been having to move them a little bit because I had my measurements wrong initially, but that's why this is a trial and error, right? Anyways, what I was bragging about earlier with those lowering springs was with those factory brackets, I could just pull it right out. With my taller spring cups here, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Let's come forward a little bit. So we got that one. I'm gonna go line up the other side, put the spring on, hopefully get that panhard bolted on, and see how things fit. Rear end's in. Panhard bolt did not want to go in, mainly probably because I need to lengthen that panhard bar. I think with any aftermarket rear end, and especially if the car is lowered, that it's a mandatory thing to have an adjustable panhard bar. Now I know this pinion flange looks really close to the exhaust, and it is, but when the rear end raises up, when the car's sitting on the ground, it's gonna be up in this area and we'll have plenty of clearance. The torque arm's more what I'm worried about. What I was talking about earlier when I said I'll show you some carnage, I didn't have bump stops on it, and the torque arm bracket definitely punctured a hole in the rear end tunnel. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and throw the carrier pin in, and we'll grab the axles and see how everything fits. To be honest with you, I've had these axles for months. Really about a week after I posted the first 8.8 build video, I went ahead and ordered them. QP's local to me. They've been a great company to work with over the years. They're who built the 9-inch that's in my other car, and then with this car, they did the axles, and they had them same week. You got the bearings on here. Now, obviously, they don't press the bearings on because you're gonna need to press those on after you put your backing plates on. Now, I am not gonna press the bearings on these quite yet. I want to see how they fit. And then we'll get a flange to flange measurement to make sure that they're the same width as what my original rear end was. Let's see if we can't fish this through here and get a flange to flange measurement. So right now I'm just under 64. I'd call it 64 even. And this one is at 64 3/4. But we gotta keep in mind that, you know, I got 3/4 of an inch difference. We're nowhere close to having the bearings on there. If we're gonna make sure we got the width right of this thing, we're gonna need to put the bearings on these. If you get your axle shafts from quick, there's this little spacer here, and this thing is only used if you're using 93 to 97 LT1 brakes. So we'll go ahead and put that on. Then we're gonna need our backing plate. And for these, you wanna make sure that you get them in the right direction. So luckily, I can see where the stock flange was. So I'm gonna put that down right there. Bearing wise, the O-ring needs to be towards the face of the axle. Last, there's a locking collar. Typically you'd have some notch blocks in these for bearing pressing. My press did not come with those, so I'm kind of making do with the splitter. So I'm going to leave this retainer out for now. We will put that on. First, we're going to go ahead and get the bearing pressed in. So before we slide that axle in, I need to clean this out, make sure we don't have any rust in it. And then also, let me put the seal in. Should be able to slide this part right in. The next thing a guy's gonna need is some T-bolts. And man, thankfully they've changed their T-bolts a little bit. These flanges used to be a lot thinner. Like so. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up, and I'll do the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, got the other axle in. I have not tightened up the backing plate yet, mainly because it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to measure flange to flange. We need to take that measurement, make sure that we're where we need to be. All right, let me hook this flange. We'll bring it across. We'll stick a parallel on there for good measure. Pun intended. Okay, 64, not quite 3/4. We are very close. It'd be 64, and I believe that's 11/16, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, yes. So, 64 and 11/16. That means we are only a 1/16 of an inch difference from what that rear end is. And I think that'd be within tolerance, at least in my book. That 1/16 of an inch isn't going to affect wheel clearance or anything like that. So now we need to look at the torque arm clearance. And I would say our test fit will be successful after this. So I've just put this tunnel mount torque arm in just roughly. And right now it is obvious if we come over here that we would hit the tunnel. Let's see if I can go. So we would definitely hit the tunnel where that seatbelt mount is. But on this, we have 2 sets of bolts that we could go out. And what we could do is trim this bracket off right here, and it would move us in over 1 inch, which should clear that tunnel. You might have to do a little bit, of massage right up in this area, but that's gonna clear. What I think I might do is take that tunnel mount out and go outside and see if I have a stock factory torque arm in the scrap pile, and maybe we'll try running it and see how it fits. How about that? There is one. With a red Camaro door dell. Oh, I just stepped in a bunch of mud. It'll work. I'd love to say hoarding, we won't say hoarding, collecting all these Camaro parts is kind of a great thing, and it's what you typically work on. But man, does it kind of look janky out here. I've slowly been scrapping and getting rid of a lot of it. I'm glad I hung on to this to try it out. All right, I went ahead and threw that stock torque arm in it. You can see it's in the right place up at the transmission. Here, our holes are basically lined up. You can see how much further it sticks out here, mainly because how the torque arm bracket has to be. But there is definitely more clearance up here. It's going to be very close. So here's a shot from the bottom side to give you an idea how close that is. And if I were to take my hand, it goes straight up and down. So really it's just this area that needs to be clearanced. So even with the stock rear end, you can see right in the tunnel right here is where that UMI torque arm was rubbing. So with the stock torque arm, you're gonna have to clearance the tunnel just a little bit. Use a BFH, just slightly massage it. But look guys, that's nothing new. As you can see, that thing was rubbing with the stock 10 bolt and that UMI torque arm. So obviously the car has been lowered a little bit with the BMR 125 springs. That's no big deal. I have yet to put a rear end in one of these, a 12 bolt, a 9-inch, an 8/8, that you haven't had to modify the tunnel just a little bit. And to be honest, this is interfering with the tunnel a lot less than what my 9-inch does. So the next thing I'm gonna do is loosely bolt the brakes up to this, and that way we can put the tires back on it, set it on the ground, see how it looks. Wheels are bolted on. I still have this thing on the hoist a little bit because I wanted to show you that they do go without rubbing. Both sides. You can see that factory width is working right. I might have to adjust the panhard bar just a little bit. I'm sticking out a little far on this passenger side. I don't think I can ask for a better fitment than what we have right here. Everything really bolted up nice. The springs went where they needed to go. The lower control arms were perfect. The panhard bar fit. Everything looked really good. It bolted right in. There's a couple things I noticed as we bolted in. I don't have sway bar mounts, so I'm gonna have to make some of those. There's some small modifications we're gonna have to make on the brackets themselves. Where they're at now, they're 100% functional. I really wanted to make this a start to finish video, and that way I could be driving this thing and testing it out. But if you watched my last video, you know that I'm a little limited on time right now. That's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than later. But a lot of you guys have been asking about how this rear end project's going and how the brackets are coming and all of that. And I wanted to give you guys an update and at least show you that I am working on it. It is coming. Thanks for being patient with me. But I would say here in the next 3 to 4 weeks, weather permitting, we should be driving this thing. So hit the subscribe button because I'm going to be doing one more video over this, and that's going to be getting this thing back out, painting it, prepping it. I have a couple things to build for it, which I'll show all of that in the next video, and then getting to that final installation and giving it a good test drive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.